Hello, guys. This is Nat Blue, and we are back at it with another tier list. So today we are going to rank protagonist from anime that I have watched. So these are all things that I've seen in the past. Some of them I've seen a long time ago. Some of them are incredibly recent. So we are going to jump into this with I think, an easy one. Alphonse Elric from Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. I watched the original Full Metal Alchemist for a moment. We're not even going to talk about that. I think Alphonse for me is S tier. So, or yeah, we're going to keep him an S. So Alphonse is such a good character, and he's like a little kid living as a suit of armor, pretty much. I guess minor spoilers if you guys haven't seen all of these shows, but he is a smaller child living as a suit of armor. And I love him. I love all of his moments with like cats and stuff. I think those are hilarious. So he's just such a good character. Next, we have Ken Kaneki from Tokyo Ghoul. So if you watched my anime tier list, Tokyo Ghoul is my favorite anime right now. Because of that, we're also going to put him in S. He is one of my favorite characters from Tokyo Ghoul. I think especially when you get to like the adult Ken Kaneki, because he's just so awesome. So I think he is an S tier pretty easily. Uh, and then we have Meliodas from Seven Deadly Sins. Meliodas, I'm going to put into B. He's not the best character in his show. Power scaling, he is. He's incredibly powerful. But I think Bon and Escanor and sometimes even King are just better characters. So I think because of that, he just stays in B tier. Next, we have CL Phantom Hive. We're going to put him in C. This is the kid from Black Butler. So, if we're being honest with one another here, he's not the best character in Black Butler by a mile. Sebastian is a way better character. There are some people that would argue that Sebastian also counts as a protagonist. Some people argue he counts as an antagonist. By definition, CL is the protagonist of the show, and I just don't think he's the best character of the show. Then we have Koro Sensei from Assassination Classroom. I'll put him into B. I think he was interesting. I just wasn't a huge fan of Assassination Classroom, which I know is not the popular opinion. I just didn't enjoy it as much as I expected to. Then we have Asta from Black Clover. So he is the main character. Yuno is like a secondary character. He is a better character than Yuno. I'm still going to put him in C. I don't think he's bad enough to be a D tier character, but he is incredibly whiny. I think his only saving grace is I enjoy when a character is just incredibly naturally muscular. Like he worked very hard to become as strong as he is without having magic. To be fair, I've only watched like the first season or two of Black Clover. There might be other stuff going on there. I'm sure there is. I know a couple of things about Black Clover, but I'm not a huge fan of the character. Next, we have Naruto from, you guessed it, Naruto. I'm going to put him B. So I understand people might not agree with this. Naruto's also incredibly whiny, like Asta is. We'll put him high B. Um, I like the whole underdog story where nobody believed in Naruto and everything. It does change a lot when you find out that his family is incredibly powerful. They have such a buildup of chakra, but uh, I do like the underdog story there. It does take him, well, he doesn't have a lot of tricks for most of the show. He has like the Shadow Clone Jutsu and with Sangon and a couple of other small things, but he doesn't have a whole lot of tricks. It's mostly just determination, which there's some respect for. I don't know if I would put him as like my top 5 Naruto characters though. Which I think when you're the main character, if you're not in the top 5 for characters, that's kind of an issue. Next, we have Percival from Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse. So this is a pretty new show. It is a continuation of Seven Deadly Sins with new characters. I'm going to put Percival in C for a similar reason as Naruto. He's just not my favorite character in the show. He also does have that underdog component to him, but he's just not the best character. Next, I have Edward Elric. I'm going to put him top of S, above his brother. He's a very selfless guy and an incredibly good alchemist. I understand it does give him a little bit of an edge that he has like the power to do alchemy without components and everything. But he is such a good character. So I think we put him into S. Next, we have Taichiro from Goodnight World. This is our first D tier. If I had an F tier, he would be F tier. I hated this show. He is the whiniest protagonist I've ever seen. He cusses every like 10 seconds. It's very excessive. So I'm just not a fan of him in the slightest. I can't think of a single redeeming quality about this guy. Then we have Kirito from Sword Art Online. I'm going to put Kirito. We're going to put him in A. So I like Sword Art Online for the first season or two. I think he's really good in the first season or two. That's all I'm ranking him off of right now. Because I think I've heard bad things about later seasons. Then we have Ash Ketchum from Pokemon. So Ash is also going to go A, but he's going to go above Kirito. I love Ash. He is a very good protagonist for how long it's been going on. I feel like by now maybe they should have swapped out. It has been an incredibly long time since they started Pokemon. But he is a good character. He's not a good Pokemon trainer. That's why he's going to go into A instead of S. For somebody who wants to be the very best, he doesn't get that great. He doesn't win many competitions. I think he's won like one big one. And most of the gym trainers that have given him badges have been out of like respect. So I don't think he's a good enough trainer for the world that he's in. It doesn't make much sense. So then we have Yugi from Yu-Gi-Oh! This is him in his Pharaoh form. We're going to just make them one character. I like Yugi. We're going to put him in B. Or let's put him down in C. Because he does cheat the entire show with the Millennium Piece. To be honest, he does kind of cheat. And most of the reason that he's a good duelist is because his grandfather had an incredibly good deck of cards. Rewatching this show as an adult, there's a lot of problems with Yu-Gi-Oh! A big one being that the show just isn't very good voice acting. So I think that has to kind of play a part into it also. Then we have Soma from Food Wars. I do not remember how to say his last name, so we're just going to call him Soma. We're going to put Soma into A. I think he's an incredible character. There doesn't have to be a lot of depth there. He tries incredibly hard. He's very good at cooking. That's the entire point of the show. Then we have Light from Death Note. So Light is going to go into C. I do love Death Note. It's a great show. He's not the best character in Death Note either. He's not as good as L. He's not as good as the demon guy that I can't remember the name of because it's been like 10 years since I watched Death Note. Less than that, probably like 7 or 8 years since I watched Death Note. But he is still a very good character. Then we have Saitama from One Punch Man. He's going to go into C. I'm not a huge One Punch Man fan, and Saitama's not my favorite character in the show. So I don't want to put him higher than that. Then we have Akira from Zom 100. So this is a pretty recent show also. I loved this show. I'm going to put Akira into A because he's such an innocent guy. He just wants to complete a checklist because he's been a businessman for most of his adulthood. And he just wants to enjoy his life. And I love that for him. Then we have Gon Freaks from Hunter x Hunter. I think Gon is going to go high A, above Ash. This is very close to S for me. I think the difference is most of the S tier characters are my favorite characters from the show. Gon is not my favorite character from the show because Killua exists. Killua is just too good of a character. So I think he deserves the A spot, but he's such a great character. I love the arc that he has during that last arc, the last season that I watched. Then we have Kotaro from Kotaro Lives Alone. He's an S tier. Kotaro is such a good character with his little sword, and he's so independent for being a child. I love Kotaro. Then we have Tatsu from House Husband, also amazing character, S tier. Tatsu is a former Yakuza that decides to become a house husband, and he's just the nicest guy for being a former like hitman. He's just such a great guy. Then we have Mob from Mob Psycho 100. This is the last person on the list. I'm going to put him into C. So I liked the show. I didn't like the show until late in the season, or later in the show, like second season. I think the fourth season was a little bit slow. So I think he's just going to go into C. I think honestly, I love the show. He's such a powerful character, but he's also kind of a boring character. There's not a lot going on with him for most of the show. He's just kind of misunderstood. He's kind of the naughty guy in school. But he is incredibly determined. He joins like that club of bodybuilders, and that's really funny. So I don't think he deserves D tier. The only person I think deserves D tier is Taichiro, who's currently down there from Goodnight World. Okay, so that is my list. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I'm still pretty new to anime, so I might continue doing this stuff as I watch more shows. I might do some like side characters from some of these shows if there's interest. I might do it if there's not interest. I don't have a lot of followers, so we're just gonna toss stuff at the wall for a minute. If you liked this video, you can like the video. You can subscribe to the channel if you want to see more tier lists like this or just more content. Hit the notification bell to be notified when new things come out. And other than that, I hope everybody's having a great day. And until next time, peace.